shows up with the red light.
Not bad. Not bad. Better than you might think. So I'll just explain because you're not going to be having that. I'll wave my arms and try to explain things. And there's multiple rows of bees here. Typically they're 4 high. These are some nukes that are so they're 5 high. But then they go back there. I've got my 6 frame nukes. These are 6s. So they're smaller boxes, and then all the way down to this end. So I typically in the past spread out the beehives so that I can walk between them and keep an eye on things. There's really not much you can do short of pest control. You can see I have some traps and stuff here. I've had squirrels in here, I've had a rat, I've had mice. I always get mice. There's shrews, actually. There's shrews that get in sometimes, and those can be pretty destructive.
So
they eat the bees.
I definitely understand more of what, when we're having discussions on how you say, yeah, but I can't get to back there, right?
Yeah.
Because they have to stay in the dark.
Yeah.
And
even if they were stretched out, in the building so I could walk between the aisles, there's only 25% of them that I can even
get to.
Mm-hmm. Right? So it's kind of pointless. Primarily why I did that was to allow the insurance adjuster to come and check, make sure my bees are alive in the fall. But I don't insure anymore, so I can preserve the rest of my building, right? And you can see that it's well used.
Buckets of honey.
Buckets of honey, extracting equipment, all kinds of things, right? Indoor storage, especially non-frozen storage, not cold storage, is a premium. And yeah, it's kind of cold in here, but I mean not frozen.
So this is, if this were not a beekeeper's place here, this would basically be a very large, probably could park 4 cars in here, right?
Yeah, I think it's 24, 26 by 30. It's 30 feet deep. So it's a pretty good size. It's still just a double garage. It was just a mechanic. I've worked in here on vehicles. I've replaced engines and trucks and stuff in here in years gone by. And it was just storage.
So what I find amazing, for me, is, outside of it being this, is that here we are, essentially March 1st, right? First, coming up on March 1st. Yeah. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pallets of buckets of honey.
There's probably around 6,000 pounds or something right here.
And there's another 6,000 pounds still. But that's represents less than half of the honey that you pulled this year.
This is actually right around half of my crop for the 2023 season.
So you have plenty of honey to service your customers for the rest of the season.
I should have. I didn't go into this season with an excess of honey that was packed, so I started digging into this immediately, and I've packed quite a bit of it, and I still am not making much headway, right? By the time I get honey packed, then I sell a whack of honey again, so it doesn't build up very fast. I just have to keep doing it. Every week I've taken 600 pounds as a rule. I mean, there's exceptions to that, but yeah, I'll take 600 pounds every week, until the season gets really busy. So yeah, the business is going good. Sales are good. Expenses, like everybody else, expenses are killing me. So I'm still trying to find the equilibrium there.
Then if we flip around to the other side, this is the extraction corner. But of course, as the buckets are not here, you got more room to set up your extraction.
All this is cleared out. Everything is gone, and
the red lights are down,
and the area that's now storage and bees is now hot room. So all of the honey comes in here in the hot room, and of course it's not a separate room. So the whole area is about 30 C, and then it goes through the uncapper extractor, back out into this machine here. This dumps out into the 5-gallon pails.
But
starts all over again.
but pretty much all year, this room is full of something. But
Absolutely.
depending on what time of the year it is,
Absolutely.
it's a transitional space
Yeah.
to help you do.
In May, it'll be filling up with, because the bees will be out mid-March to early April, and as soon as the bees come out, then this room gets started to be filled up with woodenware that I've built, because I'll take that usually about the end of April to the dipper. So I end up with a real pile of woodenware in here by May.
And then it all gets moved out to the yard.
Get moved out, and then I can store honey in here. And then one of the things I do in here is people may remember me talking about. I'll make nukes in the yard. I'll bring them on a pallet and set them in here. I've got a big air conditioner there because now the weather's starting to get warm, and I'll be able to keep this building cool. Leave them here for a couple nights and take them back to the yard to reorient. So this building does a lot of different things for me throughout the season.
I think that's important, and when someone's building a business, that when they have a space, they have to be able to maximize. And from talking to you, is you've been doing this long enough with the spaces that you have that you've been able to streamline as best as you can the process. Haha, picking up from Canada process.
Yeah.
It's the process of your operation, and that's important.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's necessity because in the summer, indoor storage is a premium, and in the winter, indoor heated storage is way bigger premium, right? Because I don't have that much. I've only got this building, and I've got the wood shop, and the wood shop is busy all winter. I don't have space for extra stuff in there. I've stored my 5-gallon pails in there. What a huge pain, because it takes up so much space. The wood shop is it's a big building. It's 30 by 30, so it's a really nice building. Still, there's a lot of stuff to store. And sometimes I don't want something in here. This is not the optimal place to store this honey because at 4 degrees Celsius, that's kind of an optimal granulation speed temperature. I have no choice. But this sits here long enough that then I just put it in my cabinet, get it ready for packing, and then take it to packing. So there's all that. Even though it's not frozen, it's close to frozen, so you have to still be careful. If the temperature in here dips, 4 or 5 degrees, everything's going to freeze. If it's got water in it, now you've busted whatever you had water in. And also the bees. There's bees everywhere. They die all the time, and late, coming up into this season, the next month or so, they're full of poop, and they're going to be pooping on everything. So often I'll cover my pails here, keep them clean. So you still have to be choosy as to what you put in here. So yeah, it's a battle. Now, there are advantages. I have cold storage too. So cold storage, and I mean cold. Sometimes whatever it is outside, it could be minus 40 C. So I keep my comb in there. You don't want to rattle it around because it gets fragile. It'll break. It's just stored there. It's minus 40. Guess what happens to all the pests that might be in amongst that? They're dead, right? So winter is the great equalizer that way. It'll come out in the spring. We won't see wax moss again until, at least May, middle of May at the earliest, I think. If you don't start with wax moss here, wax moss will survive in here. So, whatever's in the unheated storage. And, storing honey in an unheated storage is excellent too because it freezes, it doesn't hasten granulation, the cream honey loves it, it just freezes and just stays in stasis until you go to get it. And so unheated storage is good, but it's not like it's refrigerated, so then when the seasons start to change, I have to kind of change everything around and get stuff back in appropriate storage. It's a lot of work.